Shaz Chaudhry, Pep Talk UK, joined by three wonderful, promising boxers representing Guildford City Boxing Club. We have in the house, above me there, Miss Ebony Jones, diagonally that way. Oh, I've got the diagonal wrong. Miss Laura Payne. And beside me, we have Miss Tilly Hymers. How are you doing, ladies?
Yeah, good, thanks.
Yeah, good, thank you.
Now, by way of introduction, we're going to start with Ebony. Ebony, what weight do you fight at?
Bantamweight, super bantam. I'll be fighting at.
Bantam or super bantamweight? You're an amateur at the moment.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about
turning over. My last amateur fight was 2018.
Tell us a bit about some of your accomplishments in boxing.
I was on Team GB for a couple of years. Won European Championships twice as a kid, under 22 Europeans. As a senior, won the Nationals 5 times, the GBs twice. World bronze medal as a kid. Just done a few things really internationally. And
you're training with Johnny Edwards?
Yeah.
He's a tough taskmaster, old John Edwards, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He's a good trainer.
Miss Laura Payne, we've interviewed you before, Laura. How are you doing?
Yeah, well, good. Yeah, how are you? You're right. That was ages ago, wasn't it? A few years back, wasn't it?
April 2019. You were looking to turn over then, and then we walked into lockdown, which I'm sure hampered any plans you had of turning over. But tell us a bit about yourself. Reintroduce yourself to the world, Laura.
So yeah, just turned pro. I was meant to make my debut in November, but obviously because of COVID, that's been like postponed now till hopefully May. But it's meant to be in Serbia, but you don't know what's going to happen at the moment, do you? It's uncertain times. Still boxing with John Edwards, as I was back then. Was on the developments with Team GB, but to be honest, I had quite a few injuries, as Eb will know. We was on there together, weren't we?
Yeah, that was ages ago.
Just kept getting injured, and then won the Haringey Box Cup, and then as an amateur, I just struggled to get bouts, to be honest with you. So turned over. You know, that's what I want to do, boxing, and I know that the pro style suits me, so I'm looking forward to starting my pro journey.
Now, you've got your pro debut lined up, haven't you?
Yeah.
Next month?
Yeah.
In Serbia. How are you making your debut abroad?
Do you know what? It's just these times. Like, obviously, if I had it, it's sort of a bit of. I'm looking forward to it, and I don't know whether I prefer it in Serbia or whether I would have preferred it in England. But obviously, it's sort of like it's got the good and the bad side to it. I would have loved it to be in England because I know a lot of people would have been able to come. And I would have loved that experience to be with a lot of people supporting me, because a lot of people do want to come and watch me box. But I just want to get the ball rolling now, because obviously I've been waiting since November, and staying motivated is hard. Obviously the training's hard in boxing, as everyone knows, and I just want to get the ball rolling. So get it in Serbia. It'll be a good experience anyway. Go away with the team, and then we'll just go from there. Get one in England after, hopefully.
Now you're also training with John Edwards. What's he like?
Yeah. Old school. That's it.
Hard work or old school?
It's both. Old school
Everyone
is
says
hard work, isn't it? But it's both. I think it's good. I love the old school training. I think everyone in that gym likes it. Do you know what I mean? We all love the old school side of it, and it's hard. It's meant to be, isn't it? It's good. I like it. I like hard graft.
And next to me, we have young Tilly Hymers. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Tilly, tell us a bit about yourself.
Well, currently I'm still in the amateurs. I'm not in the pros just yet because I'm still 17. But hopefully, like Laura said, that she's doing her pro debut in Serbia. Hopefully, if it all goes ahead, that I get to do my exhibition bout there. So just to get a run of how it would be like in the pros. But at the moment, I'm not 100% sure if it's still going to go ahead for me just yet. But yeah, I've won the junior championship. I've won the youth championships, and hopefully this year I can win the seniors. But it all depends on down how this COVID goes on and if it's still going to go ahead.
Tilly, can you hear me?
Oh,
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. Tilly, if you don't get on the show in Serbia, I also know that a friend of mine, Tommy Jacobs, he's got a show coming up. You're
Yeah.
trying to get yourself on there.
Want to get me on there? Yeah. It'll be good if you could. Yeah.
Are you training with John Edwards as well?
Yes. Yeah.
So do you know like you get Charlie's Angels? Are you like John Edwards' Angels?
How do you check the
Don't
Wi-Fi
know about
still on? The thing's gone.
Oh, sorry.
How do you check the Wi-Fi still on?
No, you're still on there. We can see you.
Right.
In terms of nicknames, ladies, what nicknames do we have? Tilly, do you have a nickname?
I don't know. Well, John calls me Tilly Tiger, but I don't generally like that.
And Laura Payne, you have a nickname.
Yeah, the Punisher. It's been a few things though, to be honest. But the Punisher, we'll stick with that for now. We'll see if something else comes up. But for now, it's the Punisher.
I think the last time I interviewed you, we were trying to work out what we could have as a name for you. We were trying to work out and say, what could we do as a nickname for you, and what would be good as a nickname. Ebony, you keep swapping around where you're sitting. You're like you're on.
Is it me?
You're moving us around. You're doing musical screens with us.
Is it my internet that's shit?
No, it's all right. You're
language.
You're fine.
Didn't notice.
Nicknames, Ebony. What's your nickname?
I haven't got a nickname. Just have my name.
You haven't got a nickname as yet.
No, it's just I'll just keep my name. I think all nicknames been took.
I think. Has anyone got Basher? Ebony Basher Jones.
No.
No, I don't like
Don't like the sound of that. Sounds a bit weird.
No. There's a big fight coming up next weekend. We have Tasha Jonas against Katie Taylor. Now, it doesn't get much bigger than that, does it? Laura, starting with you, what are your thoughts on the fight?
Well, what? Who do I think is going to win?
Yeah, who do you think is going to win?
Katie Taylor. That's what I think is going to win. I think it's going to be a good fight, but I think Katie's she's like a different breed, isn't she? I wouldn't want to get in the ring with her. No chance. But yeah, Katie Taylor, I think she's brilliant. Best female boxer. Like, I think her. Well, yeah, I think she's going to win it. I reckon it'll be a stoppage or maybe a KO. To be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm looking back at Tasha's last fight.
Tasha's last fight was brilliant. What against Terry Harper?
Terry Harper, yeah.
Brilliant fight, and I think that went where a lot of people didn't think it was going to go, really, because I think she did amazing, Tasha. And so did Terry Harper. Terry Harper's really good as well, isn't she? But I just think Katie Taylor, and I'd be lying if I said anything different. And I honestly think it will be probably within 6 rounds.
Well, someone's left a comment. Cass the Base Hunter reckons Katie Taylor inside 6 rounds.
There you go.
Well, I don't know Cass the Base Hunter, so I don't know what.
Where's my dad?
I knew that was him.
There you go. Oh yeah. There we go. Yeah, I agree with Jason 100%. I think it's got to be Katie Taylor, isn't it? In my opinion, you look. That's it. Yeah, inside 6 rounds.
Ebony, how do you see the fight going down?
Obviously, Kate Taylor, I think she's going to win it, but it's a fight that everyone wants to see. They fought in the Olympics. First time female boxing was in the Olympics in 2012. Yeah, I think Kate Taylor's going to win it. But you never know, could be surprised. But I think Jonas will get stopped, to be honest. There's my old man now. Easy fight for Katie. I'll agree, Chipper.
Brian Jones, yeah, there he is. Easy fight for Katie.
Yeah. Well, you don't know, do you?
Tilly, what do you reckon?
It's going to be a tough fight, isn't it? They're two good women, good fighters. But, yeah, no, I think they say Katie Taylor.
They are saying she drew against Terry Harper. Sorry, Tel, but she drew against Terry Harper. And then she's fighting Kate Taylor. So, I don't know. I don't think, obviously, Kate's going to win that.
But Katie's also been in a few wars.
Yeah, that is true.
Soon was a war.
Yeah, she's tough.
Tasha's definitely got the heart.
Yeah, she has.
And the thing is, it's not like these ladies don't know one another. What, in 2012 they met during the Olympics?
Yeah.
Katie Taylor representing Ireland, Natasha Jonas representing GB. Katie Taylor 1-0. She won. She progressed.
It'd be nice to see Jonas win it. GB, you always want to like support your own sort of thing. But I just can't see it.
I think female boxing at the moment as well, you look at some of the fights and like some of them have gone different ways to what you even thought, haven't they? I think recently even that Shannon Courtney one, I think that went a lot longer and it was a much more of a war than what I think a few people thought. So I think at the moment there are sort of more 50-50 fights, but for me it is going to be Katie Taylor, and I would be shocked if it wasn't.
Well, I look at Katie and I saw her fight at York Hall a couple of years back against J.D. McCaskill. And it was a bit of a tear up and Katie got the decision. McCaskill then gone on to fight Cecilia Breakers and win unify the division and win that title, all the belts off her. It could be, if she comes through this, that these two ladies get it on again. And I know Kurt Campbell's asked, does Katie Taylor have a decent dance partner in a weight class, moving up or down a little bit? There are some good fights out there, some two-weight unifications for her. I don't know whether that's going to happen or not. But I've seen John Edwards has joined us. He's left a comment. He said, well done, girls. So it's good to have John Edwards about, a man that I've always respected. I first saw John Edwards with a chap called Jake Ball from Guildford. I don't know if you ladies have come across him.
Yeah.
He was a light heavy, fought on Team GB. And he came down to a gym I was training at the time, Club KO in Buckersville. John came down with him. They'd done a bit of sparring with James DeGale. Really got on well. And John, I know Felix Cash had a good result over the weekend. John used to train him as well.
Yeah.
And I remember watching one of the Sky live shows at York Hall, and John was in the ring on the pads with Felix Cash. And these boys have obviously gone on to do a lot in the sport, and I'm hoping the same for the three of you.
Yeah, he's trained some good people, isn't he, John? He's been like around the sport for a long time, and I think he's a very respected man in the sport as well. So I think his way of training, his style of training, I think he does produce champions. It's hard.
You go in that gym, the walls are covered with champions and pictures on the past of all champions he's had.
Well, I have got one thing against John Edwards. Them walls are covered with champions. He ain't got a picture of me on the wall, though, has he?
Yeah.
Billy, you're not supposed to laugh at that. We've got the P4P boxing show. What's your thoughts on Katie Taylor, Natasha Jonas versus Chantel Cameron in the future?
Chantel Cameron's tough. I went to spar her before, but I was boxing at like bantamweight, and obviously I was doing all right in the spar and that, but she's strong. And then as like a couple rounds into it, but I was getting paid for the spar, so I didn't really care anyway. I took a few ticks though. She's strong gal.
Now, at the beginning of your quiz, you mentioned getting paid for sparring. Women in boxing, something that's very difficult is obviously the finance, the money side of it, to pay for kit, to pay for training. How are you ladies doing for sponsorship? How do you make ends meet on a day-to-day basis? Have you got jobs? Are you getting people sponsoring you? How's that going down?
Who's going first?
Yeah, anyone, Ebony, I'll let you go
I'm still in the
first.
army, so I'll get an army wage. Obviously, I'm leaving the army now. So I'm looking for sponsors. Obviously, I want to train full time. So obviously, yeah, I'm looking at getting sponsors on board. Yeah.
Laura?
Yeah, so I've got a couple of sponsors that help out a lot. I'm also looking for more sponsors, and I do some personal training as well on the side. So just sort of as well, just balance it all out really. Just it's good. I like teaching boxing as well, so I've been doing a bit of that recently, and I'm really enjoying it. Especially coaching like the younger generation coming up as well, and being like just having my debut. But as soon as that kicks off as well, it'd be nice to train some upcoming females. And I like personal training as well.
Tilly, what about you?
So I've got 5 sponsors at the minute, hopefully to get more. Most of them, all of them, they pay for basically everything, like all my kit, or like so I have, one of my sponsors is a chiropractor, and he does all like massages and like clicks all my body and that before fights. I also have a personal trainer, so he does me like before every like. So if I'm in like a camp, he'll train me through that as well as sessions with John as well. And then I have family sponsors as well with their own businesses, and they pay for the kit and everything else.
One of the biggest issues when a boxer's starting out, and Laura, one of the biggest issues I find is ticket selling. Now, in terms of your debut, is it behind closed doors in Serbia?
It's behind closed doors, but I think we're able to have a few people come out with us. By the sounds of things, I'm not 100% sure really, but I think that you are allowed. It sounds like we're having spectators out there for people that obviously want to fly out, but it's sort of friends or really close friends, family, like close people to you that would fly out, because obviously, yeah. But ticket selling is massive, and I think that's why it's important to have try and get a bit of a backing behind you. So then when it does come to ticket selling, you can. But obviously, being behind closed doors, you don't have to have that worry. But I do think that is a big stress that a lot of boxers do have, is to get onto a show. Obviously, they're going to have to sell a certain amount of tickets, and I think that is a big stress. But a lot of boxers do have to go through, especially at the start. I guess you've got to make your fights exciting, and you've got to put on a show. And that's how people are going to want to come and watch you. So I think that is, you've got to be an entertaining fighter as well.
I have seen across your social media channels, I have seen some video footage shot by a Far King film. I said Far King film there, FAR King film, because the name, he says something else as well. But some extremely good footage of you guys. I think things like that genuinely help as well, because again, a good videographer, good filmmaker coming in, taking pictures, spreading it on social media, showing what you girls are up to does make a difference as well. I've got a fantastic question by Joe Pugh there. What's your opinions on the potential fight between Marshall and Shields? Savannah Marshalls and the GWOAT, or the self-confessed GWOAT, Clarissa Shields. What's your opinion on that?
I think Marshall Basher.
It would be nice to see Savannah Marshall beat her. It would be nice to see. She's beaten her before in the amateurs, so that's another fight people want to see. It's good that we're getting some exciting fights in female boxing.
Tilly, Savannah Marshall or Clarissa Shields for you?
Wow. I don't know. Like, I don't potentially I've not really watched them two myself because I don't. To be fair, I don't really watch much boxing on TV. But from what I've heard, they're both good women. Well, yeah, like Laura said, yeah.
I've not asked a question. We'll start off with women in boxing first. Who's your favourite female boxer? Laura, if we start with you.
Katie Taylor.
Tilly?
Yeah, Katie Taylor. She's just like, I don't know. She inspires a lot of people. She definitely inspires me. So, yeah.
Ebony?
I like Kate and I do like Savannah Marshall too. I just think they're the real deal. They're not no gimmicks, no all about because they've got a load of social media followers to get where they are. They're the real deal. They are actually good boxers, good fighters. And that's it really.
LNF has just said Shields is scared of Marshall's power. The thing I like about Savannah is when she's in that ring, when she gets into that rhythm, she just looks so relaxed and it all comes so natural to her. And Shields hasn't really had any stoppages on her record, has she? I know she's got loads of belts behind her, but she's not really. She seems to be a good technician, but whether she can take a punch is still to be seen, isn't it?
She's not boxed anybody like Katie Taylor. That's the thing.
Sorry, Savannah Marshall.
Sorry, yeah.
Well, she has. She has.
Yeah,
she has.
She is so relaxed. It's like effortless.
Well, she has got someone like Savannah Marshall. She lost to Savannah Marshall in the amateurs, didn't she?
But I mean, now as like
as a pro,
I think that she hasn't. I think like Savannah Marshall just not just boxing, but I think she has a game plan, doesn't she? And I think she sticks to it. I think she's really good.
Your personal training regimes, Laura, say from Monday to Sunday, what is your training regime?
I mix it up, to be honest with you, with like strength conditioning, obviously like sparring, pads, rest as well, because obviously that's important. Every week I sort of mix it up, but it consists of running quite a lot to obviously build a bit of an engine up now for the pros. So I'm sort of running quite a lot. I've got a running program that I go ahead with. I've got a strength and conditioning plan I go ahead with, and then with John as well, 4 or 5 times a week. So sparring or pads, whatever it is.
Tilly, yourself?
Didn't put that together.
Tilly,
well, I train 3 times a week. Wanting to do more, but where I'm at college, it's harder for me, and where I work as well. Some sessions are in the evening, so the 3 times a week that I do that are in the morning, so just before college, that I can make it really. I do run sometimes, not all the time.
Ebony?
Can you hear me all right, or is it me that keeps breaking up?
Yeah, it's just I think your Wi-Fi reception, but we can hear you. What's your
all right then
training regime like?
So I'm down training Guildford with John on a Monday, Wednesday night, Tuesday, Thursday mornings, and a Saturday morning. And then around that, obviously, I do my running and my S&C. But now, obviously, I'm looking to leave the army and train full time. My training will step up because I can put everything into my training and train like the way I did when I was on GB, because I was getting paid for it. Do you know what I mean? You got all you can do 2-3 sessions a day because you ain't got to do nothing else.
To all the viewers out there, we're live today with Miss Laura Payne, Miss Tilly Hymers, and I keep getting that wrong. Is it that way? Yeah, there you go. And Miss Ebonie Jones. Fire your questions in and make sure you hit the like button if you like what you see, and also subscribe to Pep Talk UK. Now, coming back to some of the questions we've got on here. Farking Film have asked, what are your thoughts on 3-minute rounds? Laura, we'll
Women
start
should
with
do
this.
3-minute rounds. Why I don't get why you're in the pros. The women haven't got head guards the same, but why are the women doing 2-minute rounds? I don't understand it. I've done 3-minute rounds, like all in the amateurs, and now I'm going to 2 minutes. Like, I don't understand why and the reason behind that.
Would you ladies prefer 3-minute rounds?
But yeah, it should be the same as the men. I don't get why it's 2 minutes. I don't understand why, really.
Laura, you're obviously making your debut. If
Yeah.
you were fighting 3-minute rounds instead of 2-minute rounds, would that affect your training in any way? Or are you gearing up for 3-minute rounds? Do you think it's something that's going to happen in the future?
I hope it does happen in the future because exactly the same as what Eb said. I think boxing's boxing. It shouldn't be like female and male. Yeah, right, it's known as a male-dominated sport, but I don't understand why male and females have different like sets of rules. Do you know what I mean? It's like that. It's like as an amateur. It's like amateurs. The females wear the head guards, don't they? As soon as you reach, I think it's 18 for the boys. They don't wear head guards. I think you're in the sport, and I think that boxing should be known as boxing, and that's you know. I think I don't really like how they differ it between the men's and the females, to be honest.
Tilly,
But
would you
in
prefer
terms of building up
3-minute rounds?
you just build it up.
Personally, I don't mind. Oh. Yeah, personally, I don't mind 3 minutes because where I saw these two girls, they do 3 minutes, so I obviously do 3 minutes. But when my first fight in the youth is 3 minutes, I didn't actually experience the 3 minutes because obviously I stopped the girl in the first round, so I didn't actually experience the 3 minutes for the first time. But it doesn't really bother me. I train and do pads with John for 3 minutes, so it doesn't really bother me.
Ebony, we have a Mr. Brian Jones who said Ebonie Jones will be world champion.
That's my dad. And that.
I know, you give him a thumbs up and say cheers, Dad. Thanks
Cheers,
for the support.
Pap.
And Shirley Jones
Yeah.
has come in with Tilly and 3 boxing gloves. Now, Kurt Campbell's asked a question, but before I move on to that, I want to ask your thoughts on a lady that's come over from Australia, quite a stir, Miss Ebony Bridges. What do you think of her?
I don't think she's good at all. I mean, she's good at marketing herself, but she's not the real deal. It's all a gimmick, isn't it? It's all she's got a lot of more people watching female boxing, but she's not good. I don't think she's good at all.
Do you think she's good for the sport?
Well, it's good because a lot more people watched it, but it's just the thing I've got is boxing is a respectful sport, and it should just be about the boxing in a way, and it's sort of sexualized it in a way. But she knew she was doing that, and it did get more people to watch it. So on that side, it was good. But I think because she isn't actually a good boxer, it makes it look worse.
It was Shannon Courtney's obviously accomplished, had a good tear out with Rachel Ball previously. She did go the distance with her. Yes, it's a world title fight. Maybe other people should have got the nod ahead of her to have that title fight. But
yeah, they're girls' bouts. You can't blame them. But they're two novices. They was both. They don't know how to defend punches. They were both just standing there trading punches. Like they didn't even know how to defend punches. You see the state of their faces at the end. Like
I
it's
love
a joke.
Fight talk. Ebony Jones is ready to go now, mate.
But it's not because it's the truth. Because it really is. If you look at like. Obviously, girls who was on GB, they haven't turned over pro yet. We've been all around the world boxing. We've boxed before. The best in Russia, the best in Kazakhstan, the best in India. We're top fighters. We're not just good on. We're not just social media influencers, or do you know what I mean? Like people get found out in the end anyway. So, yeah.
Laura,
Eb's
what are
going
your
in
views
for a
on that?
rant today, isn't she?
Yeah, no, I don't mind.
Well,
Ebs,
no,
that's
it's just
what
the
we're
truth,
for.
innit? Like anyone who knows boxing knows that they ain't good. They ain't fighters, and it's all pretend.
Laura, what's your views on Ebony Bridges?
To be honest, I think she came over and sort of did. She's left now with a lot of, I think, more backing than what she came with, and I think that she's set herself up. I reckon Eddie Hearn's going to sign her. Whether people think they can box or whether they can't box, I think that she's going to be set for life now. Like I think, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, she's getting
well
more
known.
money than me.
She's getting a good payday, and she still wants to coach maths apparently in England, so she wants to stick to that as well. I think fair play in terms of she's come over, she's done what she wanted to do, and to be honest, I think that fight, it was entertaining. Boxing or not, it's entertaining, and I think that's what a lot of people want to watch. So she's come over, and she's going to be worth money now. Do you know what I mean? She's going to set up her future, and at the end of the day, that's what people want to do. So we'll see what happens with her. But I do think Eddie Hearn will sign her. I think they're in talks at the moment. By the sounds of things, Eddie Hearn is trying to apparently give her trying to sign her.
Tilly, what do you reckon?
Personally, I don't even know who she is. Not gonna lie. I
love that. I love that.
I don't know who she is.
I love Jill.
She's the one with the big tits tail.
Oh right. Okay, I see. I know what you mean now. But no, honestly, I don't know.
Right, what happened is, personally, I like the way she pulled out the fight. I like the way she built her social media up. Whether there's gimmickry involved or not, I like the fact that she got a football club behind her, Leeds United Football Club. I'm a Leeds fan, so I don't mind that. I like I'm a little bit. I don't often admit this, but I'm a little bit old. So I remember the days of Ricky Hatton and more recently Josh Warren, and they went door to door through Manchester, through Leeds, and they built up a big fan following that followed them. Well, with Josh Warren and filled out the Leeds arena with Ricky Hatton. They followed him all the way to Las Vegas. I don't know how many Aussies Ebony Bridges will bring over, but she targeted the UK. I feel she's done phenomenally well to get herself a world title shot. And having lost against Shannon Courtenay in a fight where I don't think she's done herself a disservice, because for the ability that she does have, whether it's a novice level, whether it's an expert level, irrespective of that, she showed heart. And since then, she's then gone on around a tour of the UK. She's popped up in Wales. She's been in Walsall doing signings with kids. She's been in Liverpool with Natasha Jonas. She's been up in Leeds getting a tour of the stadium. Back in London, Soccer AM. Ladies, I look around it for a boxer that no one knew about in the UK 6 months ago. She's done phenomenally well, hasn't she?
100%. And I think that's only going to continue as well. I think you see the work she's doing with kids and things like that. Like, not like, do you know what I mean? That's her taking all of her time out to help other people, and I think that goes such a long way as well. And I think that gets recognised in itself a lot.
Because Ebony, coming back,
she's come over and she's done well.
Ebony, coming back to what you said, for me, I don't ever. For me, I look at it. We all know Dave Allen. We all love Dave Allen. We all respect Dave Allen. Limited ability, but some people just end up becoming people's champions, or people take to them and think, "Yeah, we like a bit of this," and they follow the journey. And I think,
yeah, but he's actually a good fighter and a good boxer.
Okay, I'll take that. The other, it took two to tango. Shannon Courtenay was in there with Rachel Ball. Rematch is likely. How do you see this? How do you see part 2 going down?
Don't know, because they're both just trading, aren't they? They're both getting caught with a lot of shots, so it could go the other way next time.
I think it's going to be a cracker. I think Rachel Shannon's going to be a cracker. Shannon's going to, as much as she'll try and outbox Rachel, I think Shannon.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I thought you said Bridges and Courtney rematch. Sorry.
No, sorry, Rachel Paul Shannon rematch. It's Kurt Campbell's question on the screen at the moment. Laura, how do you see it going down? Rachel Paul Shannon.
Do you know what? I think that'll be a really exciting fight. My phone keeps freezing.
I don't know who's going to win that, you know.
I think it might be lined up for fight camp. Do you know Eddie Hearn does his back garden?
Yeah.
He said earlier on today he's going to be doing fight camp in his back garden. I think he'll do it all over again in his back garden and have everyone come. But this time he's going to let fans in as well.
That'd be really good, I think.
So they might do the rematch exactly where the first one went down.
I think it'd be a good fight, though.
Yeah.
Ladies, before we go back to some of the questions, there's viewers that have joined us. I just want to reintroduce everyone. I have above me Miss Tilly Hymers. Tilly, do you want to tell everyone a bit about yourself?
Right. So I'm 17. I'm currently still in the amateurs at the minute. Hopefully, in a couple of years' time, turn over. Hoping to potentially fight in May 22nd, I think it is, in Serbia for an exhibition bout. But we'll soon find out soon. Yeah.
Next to me is Miss Ebony Jones. Ebony, do you want to tell us a bit about yourself?
Yeah, on GB a couple of years, under 22 European champion. I had 65 amateur bouts, 160. I'm in the process of turning over now, leaving the army, so I can train full time, just do that for a career.
And in the top corner, it's Miss Laura Payne. Tell us about yourself, Laura.
I've just turned pro last year. Having my debut in Serbia on the 22nd of May. It was meant to go ahead in November, but it's been put back to then because of COVID. Was on the development for Team GB and won the Haringey Box Cup. That's not my highlight.
Now, all three of you ladies are training out of the City of Guildford Boxing Club with the accomplished Mr. Jonathan Edwards. Now, I've got a question that's on screen at the moment from Jay Gill. Which part of training do you hate the most? Starting with you, Tilly. What part of training do you hate the most?
It's not the training side, it's the diet side. That's the worst thing I hate, is having to diet. Where I'm such a small person as it is, dieting for me is hard. It really is. I hate it.
What's your cheat?
I'm not running.
What's your cheat meal? What's your cheat day meal, Tilly? What's the one thing? What's your cheat day meal? What's the one thing we have to lock away from you?
Chocolate.
No. I'll fancy some chocolate now. Laura, what's the one part of training you hate the most?
Do you know what I sort of like? I really like all of it, but the thing that I hate the most is probably running. Like when it's cold or dark, cold mornings, and if you have to go running, I don't really like that. But I like your dog, Ed. Running, I don't really like it, to be honest. So when I'm personal trainer, I make all my clients go running so they can feel my pain.
If they're watching now, they're not going to be too happy at that, are they?
No, they love it, really. It's all right. I run after them with a speaker, so they don't have to worry about it. Chase them down the road with the speaker on.
And what's your cheat meal?
Massive burger. I'm quite good with my diet though, because I make weight all right. So yeah, just treat myself every now and then, but I eat healthy anyway because it makes. I don't really like eating rubbish.
Ebony, which part of training do you hate the most?
There's not a bit of it I hate in particular, but I used to like on GB we used to do like S&C, type of S&C where you just walking around with a sheet of paper and following it. Like I hate that. I like if I'm doing S&C, doing like circuits, like old school stuff like John does, like the tyres and the horse that you jump over, the wooden thing. But yeah, that's what I used to hate. It's the S&C because it was like nothing to do with boxing, I felt, and you just like walking about lifting weights. I just find it boring.
And what about your cheat meal? What's the cheat meal that you can't resist?
I haven't got a set one, but I'd probably say like my mum or my nan's roast dinner with Chinese.
I'm surprised Krispy Kreme's never come up.
Donuts.
Yeah, they're overrated, I reckon.
Laura half smiled. Laura just went, yeah, can't. Everyone's watching this. I can't say, yeah, I love a crispy.
I'm thinking, I ate my breakfast. No, I'm joking. No, I do like them though.
Yeah, Laura, because you've got your fight coming up, you're in camp right now, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
And the fight, tell everyone when that fight is.
22nd of May in Serbia. But I reckon I'll be able to eat donuts until the 20th. No, I'm joking.
Do you know what?
I do like a donut though.
Let's stick to the boxing because then I'm going to start asking you what flavour donuts do you like, and people are going to be saying, we didn't see
Laura
would be
able to eat donuts, I reckon. I reckon you'll be able to eat donuts, Laura.
Oh, yeah, I like a donut. All those, I can't remember what they're called, but those things with sugar all over them. Like yum-yums.
Yum-yums.
Love a yum-yum as well. Close thing to a donut, isn't it?
There's an interesting question from LNF. She said, as women, do you think you have to prove yourself more in 2 minutes?
What do you mean is improve yourself more in 2 minutes? Just like prove yourself more when you box,
do you know, in a 3-minute round, you've obviously got a bit longer to wear your opponent down, whereas I think where Ellen's going is, do you have to rush your work? Do you have to try and go for the kill a lot quicker?
You've got to put your foot on the gas faster, haven't you? I think.
Yeah, that's why I don't get why I don't get why women we're doing the 2-minute rounds in the pros when in the amateurs we do the 3 minutes and the men do the 3 minutes, and just sort of defeats the objective. In pros you can you can slow it down, you can pick your shots and look for it. But if you're doing 2-minute rounds, obviously, yeah, it's going to be still a bit of a faster pace, but I suppose you have got more rounds to do it in.
I got an interesting one from Joe Pugh. He's asked, we've seen some female boxers be fast-tracked and box for a world title after so few fights due to the lack of depth in some weight divisions. Is that something that you would look to do?
What, look to choose a weight division with not many people into to then fight for a world title? Possibly. Yeah, I was just thinking. Obviously, I wouldn't know box whatever weight on that. But yeah, obviously they did get fast tracked to a world title fight because there isn't nobody else about you. And even like me, you can moan and say they're novices to this and that, but there was no one else about. So what do you expect? Hopefully that will change.
Well, if a world title's there and you get a chance to fight for it, it's a world title, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think take any opportunity that you can, to be honest.
Another box I wanted to ask your thoughts on. Signed with 258 Management, Anthony Joshua, Miss Ramla Ali. What do you think of her?
I think you should stop asking me what I think of people because I sound like horrible, because I don't think she's any good either.
Really?
Being honest, no. Like, she's another one, big social media following, good story about her, but the actual boxing side of it, good at all. No power. Good what she's doing female boxing, and obviously she's on Pantene adverts and stuff, but it's all pretend. They're not good fighters. They can't box. Like, that is my honest opinion. And I can't really lie about it. I honestly don't think. I used to go and spar when I was about 14 years old and used to be her then.
Ebony's just in it for the fight, isn't she? She's ready today.
No, but it's just like the truth of it, and it's frustrating for me to watch these women who are on the telly getting all this money fighting, and to me, like they can't even box.
Ebony, one of the things that I want to see is, just tracking back to Joe's question when he said that there wasn't any because of the lack of depth in some of the weight divisions.
Yeah,
Obviously, the more women in boxing that come through, the more competitive it becomes. You're going to see better calibers of boxers coming through.
yeah, definitely.
And the thing that grates on me from where I'm standing is there's a lot of, like you mentioned, some of the Kazakh girls, some of the Indian girls come through, some of the Chinese. They don't all make it through to pro. They'll like have a bit of amateur. They want to chase the Olympics. They don't turn over because the money's possibly not there, or they go into other careers. I think as more and more women in boxing come through, I think it's going to get more and more competitive.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I'm really scared of
And
you,
being
Mr.
just a
Jones.
good boxer ain't enough. You got to have something else a bit about you for people to want to watch, and that's the thing.
Oh, Shirley Jones has come in with Tilly Hymers has her tank, Mark Ellens behind her, and the whole of Portsmouth. The only thing I can say today is up Pompeii.
We're all in Pompey now.
Are you all in Pompey?
I think the whole gym. I think we're going to move our gym to Portsmouth.
I'm from Portsmouth. Tilly's from Portsmouth, and Laura stays in Portsmouth.
I think everyone's going to be in Portsmouth. We're going to have a little gym now by the beach. I
Start getting a minibus up
about
when we
it,
go
but
to sessions.
we're all up here.
Do you know Portsmouth Football Club? Is that still at Fratton Park?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's still there at Fratton Park. I don't even know what division they are anymore.
Neither do I. I don't follow football.
Yeah, I follow football, but proper football, not Portsmouth Football Club. Sorry, all you Pompey fans out there. My
I
apologies.
think Portsmouth are good.
I've not said anything. I just mumbled it. For everyone that's tuned in, can you smash the like button, show your support, hit the subscribe button, subscribe to Pep Talk UK. QM has said, shout out the ladies putting that work in. Thank you very much, QM, for tuning in. Big up you lot. Will Stokes, big up you lot. What divisions are you all competing in? We'll start again with you, Laura. What division will you be competing in for your debut?
Well, to be honest with you, I think they're looking at a few different opponents for me, but I think I can be. So I still know it all in kilos, but I'm sort of between 48 kilos and up to. I can get up to 54 if I wanted to, but 48 to 52 is where I'll be. So sort of anywhere in between there. Yeah, I'm light. I am light. Like I can get down to 48 kilos. Yeah, it'd be lightweight, but I hope like I'll be. Probably about 52 kilos, but yeah, I can get down lightweight.
Flyweight, Laura.
There you go, flyweight, lightweight, wherever they're at around that weight, I'm there.
Tilly, what weight are you fighting at?
Wow, at the moment, 48 to fly like Laura, but that's when I turn over. So, but that might change. So,
Ebony, yourself?
Super Bantamweight. Yeah, Super Bantamweight.
In terms of boxing, who are your role models in boxing? Leaving the women in boxing aside, obviously there's men in boxing. At the male competitors, who would you say are your role models? We'll start with you, Laura.
Tyson Fury.
Love the Gypsy King.
That's the one, yeah.
Got a big fight coming up with AJ.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
How do you see that going down?
Tyson Fury will win that.
Yeah.
I heard some years, Tilly. Wait for it. Tilly, who's your man in boxing?
it's got to be Tyson, isn't it?
Tyson Fury as well.
Yeah.
So Tyson Fury. How do you see Tyson Fury v AJ going down?
Well, Tyson's obviously going to win. I just think he's better of the both of them. I think, really.
I think Ebony, please say someone else. Tyson Fury.
No, well, obviously you're saying role models. So on role model side of it, Tyson Fury, the things he's done for mental health, but obviously my favourite boxer of all time, the one I look at, watch a lot, and like the style is Mike Tyson. I've loved him since a little girl, and I don't think I've watched every single one of his training videos on YouTube.
It's the peekaboo, isn't it?
Yeah, the peekaboo style. Like, he was always shorter than his opponents, and that's the same as me. I was always shorter than my opponents, and really, he's just an animal. There'll never be anyone like him again.
He just struck fear on opponents. He just walked into that thing
imagine
and
that style of him, way he moves his head, that coming charging towards you.
it scares me. Like, can you imagine? Can you imagine having a bit of road rage and he jumps out of the car?
Yeah, I loved watching the legends that the fight. His comeback. I love that.
Who do you all train with? Is family and friends more pressure? Who do you all train with? Well, John Edwards. Do you feel more pressure? Do you feel more pressure from friends, from family and friends? Having family and friends around you, do you have more pressure?
Oh.
Who's your train with his
Wait, do we feel pressure from our family and friends?
Yeah, do you feel pressure from your family? I'm trying to decipher it. Do you feel more pressure from your family and friends?
No. If that means, what does that mean?
See, I'm looking at Ebony. And
if it means do you feel pressure?
Yeah, I'm looking at Ebony and obviously Brian's been in there saying good things about you. You've had Shirley in there. I look at
that's not my family. Though. I know the surname's Jones, but that's not my family there.
Yeah. So, do you feel pressure from? Do you feel that your family put you under pressure to achieve stuff, or do you feel they're more supportive?
No, not really. Obviously, my family is supportive of it and that. But the only person who really actually knows a lot about boxing is my dad. So, like, I don't really feel pressure from me. Sort of leads me to it, but I don't feel pressure from my family and friends because they don't really know much about the boxing, really. Like, they do, but not like in depth. So they won't know like how many times I'm training a week or when exactly I'm fighting, how many fights I've had, stuff, that sort of thing. So no, I don't really feel the pressure because for that reason, really.
Yeah, I don't feel any pressure either, to be honest. I think your family and your friends are supposed to support you, aren't you? They're not meant to
pressure. This last year with lockdown, how's it affected? We touched upon Tyson Fury, and one of you ladies mentioned mental health. How has it affected you, this lockdown, mentally, in terms of there's been periods where you've not been able to go into the gym, you've not been able to work with one another. How has the whole of this lockdown experience affected? Because I'll be honest, I've never seen anything like that. I'm probably twice your age, but how has the whole lockdown affected you? Starting with you, Laura.
So it obviously when it first happened, everyone was like, "Whoa!" I was a bit like worried about going out and things like that because I think I was just gonna catch COVID. And then I sort of started using my time to put into things what I haven't had the chance to because I've been so busy with training. But even as an amateur, and that you're always training, aren't you? So I've always been busy with just life in general. So I was putting my time into things what I wasn't able to prioritise, which is good. I think it's good because you can spend time with your family and spend family time and things like that. But obviously, it's been hard mentally. But I think that you just have to keep yourself as busy as what you can. But then it started getting boring because you've done everything. Do you know what I mean? So it was difficult and the training was hard. But I just kept fit, kept active. I was doing free online training for everyone to keep myself fit, to be honest, as well as everyone else. For me, it was like motivating me to get up and do exercise. So had everyone in the group, and I can't even remember. I had thousands of people that I was just like training with online, and from that, I've then got quite a few PTs out of it. So it was good because I made a lot of people, I made a lot of connections online, which now I can help face to face now instead of just online. If you know what I mean.
Ebony, same question to you.
Yeah, so when we first went into lockdown last year, I was actually in Belize with the army. So we come home a month early, then straight into lockdown. And I wasn't even boxing at this point. I'd stopped boxing. I went back to work in the army. And then towards the end of the year, I went down to Guildford, started training with John, wanting to start up boxing again. And the lockdown, obviously, it's been shit, but it's given me a chance to train because I wouldn't have been boxing anytime soon anyway because I needed to get fit again. So really, it's just given me that opportunity to be able to train, getting ready for my debut this year.
Tilly, yourself, how's lockdown affected your training, your well-being, your general life?
It didn't affect me mentally because obviously I was at home, I was still training, I was trying to do everything I can to keep fit, but at the same time, you're at home, you're not going to be eating the right food because you're not going to be training for things like that. So obviously, my weight did go up massively, and I'm still trying to let it lose weight now, but it didn't. Well, it affected training because obviously I like training all the time. It's what I do. I put training before my friends. So really, it didn't really affect my life anyway. But yeah, having this lockdown and time off and that, it's made me become better training. I used to be training with the pros, and then when the pros could go back before amateurs, I would still try and go to every session to learn better, and it's improving now. So yeah,
Guys, everyone that's viewing, please smash that like button and subscribe to Pep Talk UK. Got an interesting question there. I don't even know if I've got the answer for this. Pep Talk UK asked them if any of them have seen a female heavyweight.
No, even in when you box internationally. Oh, actually, the heavyweights. If there was ever any of the heavy girls, they were always from Russia. Always the Russians always seem to bring every weight, but they would always be fat. They wouldn't be in good shape, muscly, toned. They'd be really fat girls who are really out of breath. Honestly, it would be really bad to watch. It'd be really bad to watch. But they'd get a medal, but then they'd have a world champion. But it would always be they were really, really obese. That's the only heavyweight I've seen.
Laura, Tilly, have you seen some big girls in the ring? Heavyweights.
I think I'm going to be the one. I'm going to get on the donuts. But
we all used to say, because there used to be 2 in the category, and we used to be bloody hell, I'd fight them for that. Really quick.
John Edwards has said a big shout out to all the coaches who have done a good job with the girls before we linked up, especially Colin. Someone tell me about Colin, please.
Colin was my old coach when I was at half Portsmouth when I was a kid, and Colin, we went to Sweden. He took me to Sweden, and he used to spend a lot of time coaching me. And and then even when I was on GB, I used to go to Colin's house and do training and stuff leading up to the Under-22 European Championships. And then I went to the Europeans and won them. Yeah, he was my coach before. Obviously, when I was growing up, and then John Edwards is my coach now.
Richardson got a question in there. He's asked me about what do you girls think of standout Luton amateur Jordan Reynolds? How do you think he will do now he's turned over?
I like Jordan. He's on GB. He's a character. Yeah, I think he will do good. I mean, he's good at. He's got the big social media following. He's good at getting attention. He's entertaining.
Yeah, I think he's nice. I've known him from the GB as well.
Yeah, me and Laura know him from GB.
I think he went on. He does well because he thinks about the business side of things as well. He can fight, he can box, and he's good with business as well. Do you know what I mean? And I think he's got the full package because he's a likable boy. So I think
he's unique.
He's unique, and also he does a lot for other people. He does a lot for charity and things like that. That stands out.
Ladies, just for a guy called Curtis Webb out there, he said, "Are all these girls amateur? I've not long joined." So if we can run through, introduce yourselves again, who you are, what weight you fight at, whether you're amateur, pro, and next fights, please, for Mr. Curtis Webb. Starting with you, Laura.
Yeah, I've just turned pro, and I've got my debut on the 22nd of May. It's meant to be in November, now it's in May. So, only just turned over, really. Was on the GB development squad, and now just waiting to get the ball rolling as a pro.
Miss Jones?
Yes, I was an amateur on Team GB, had a bit of time out, and now I'm in the process of turning pro. That's it.
And Tilly?
I'm still amateur. Hopefully turn over. Well, not anytime soon yet, but hopefully in a few years' time. So yeah, still amateur.
Now, Tilly, something I do know with yourself is you fought on, like, you've had fights where you've had to sell tickets.
Yes.
Your dad and I, Jason and I, were having a chat about this. What, 60 odd tickets sold?
Yeah.
Friends and family. How difficult is it to sell tickets to fans, friends, family? Or is it, yeah, we'll buy a ticket and then you can chase them down a little bit?
It's obviously really hard. You've got to probably like, wow, I don't know, like on social media, you've got to like tell people about yourself, put videos up of training, and people start to like you. People start wanting to come and watch you. Yeah, but I've got a group bigger fans behind me, so they'll always come and support. Even if there's a little people, like little group, they'll still come.
The more people know about you than what you think as well.
Yeah.
Is that something that worries any of you, ticket selling? Because you put the work in the gym, you let your ability do the talking, do the ticket sales or potentially having to sell tickets. Is that something that is of concern to you, ladies?
I don't think so, because I think we've all got quite a good support. Obviously, me and Tilly from Portsmouth. There would be a lot of people who'd want tickets, stuff like that. And then for Laura's got a big following. Like, I don't think that would be a problem for any of us, to be honest.
I think it might be quite useful. Do you know? Obviously, I've seen a video from and there was a lot of ladies there. Obviously, if you're from in and around Guildford or Portsmouth, each other's families, each other's friends, if the circles intertwine, you obviously get a lot more backing, don't you? If all of you guys combine forces. So if, say, Ebony's fighting, all of Laura's fans are joining in. If Laura's fighting, Ebony's fans, similarly with Tilly, I think that may be of use to you guys as well. And having the colours of Guildford City or potentially Portsmouth, if it moves, boxing club behind you, I don't think it'll do any harm. If I get in trouble and John says you weren't ever going to move and now because of this, you're moving to Portsmouth and he's having to move and travel, I'm not going to have it, all right? What do you think of Shannon Courtney, ladies? Ebony, I'm going to come to you,
You know
last.
what I'm going to say?
No, I'm coming to you last, Ebony.
I'm just letting it talk.
Laura, we'll start with you. What do you think of Shannon Courtney?
Well, I sparred her like quite a while back, and like she doesn't like no pressure or anything like that. That obviously she's become world champion. She's got an opportunity and she's took it. I think anyone would take an opportunity. If you get an opportunity to fight for a world title, you're gonna fight for it. Yeah, I think she's very beatable. Like, even when I sparred her, I was expecting something that wasn't really there in the spar. Like, obviously she was good, but it wasn't like I thought she was going to be unreal and like really push me back and like I was going to feel her shots. She didn't like no pressure coming forward, and I think that she can't hide now. Like, you're going to get found, aren't you? And I think she's one that will get found. She lost that fight, didn't she? And then she's come back from it. But I think the more that she boxes, the more people are realising that she is going to get found.
Tilly, what do you reckon? Shannon Courtney?
Tilly won't know who it is.
Oh,
Tilly.
I don't know who these people are.
Google quick.
I'm still amateur, so I'm still learning these. I'm going to start Googling these people up.
Don't let them start on you, Tilly. Don't let them start on you. A great question from Ziggy Zane. And you're in the shop window at all times. If you had a choice, which promotional banner do you think is the best for women's boxing?
What do you mean is in promotional banner?
Like Matchroom, Frank Warren,
Matchroom. Matchroom,
Matchroom.
100%. They're getting loads.
They've done well for women's boxing, haven't they?
They have, yeah.
Queensbury had, I can only think of Frank Warren's lot, Queensbury. I can only remember them signing one female boxer, and that was Nicola Adams. They've not signed anyone since.
She didn't do much, really, did she, in the pros?
No, and then Haymaker Promotions, they had Ruxana Begum.
Yeah.
Channel 5. I know Steve Goodwin had a couple of female athletes boxing for him. For Goodwin,
I think everyone wants to be with Matchroom now, don't they? That's what they want.
It's the money's there as well, isn't it? The TV. Well, I don't know where the TV's gonna go.
But you'd think like Frank Warren, like he'd want to get a female like who's gonna be beating the Matchroom girls, and you think they'd be getting good money because Matchroom's got all the girls. He's got all the good girls. You think Frank Warren would want someone on his side, big bashing up them.
I just think, is Eddie Hearn going to get too many boxers to the point where you're just another boxer to him? Do you know what I mean? Like, that he's signing more and more and more people. So I think that you're just going to be another boxer. Do you know what I mean? But it is obviously Matchroom's the one where everyone wants to go. But I don't know.
If you look across all weight divisions, he's got multiple boxers. Women boxing, you'd want to have similar numbers to the men of female boxers that are there fighting one another, competition, and again, the fans will get behind them.
Yeah, it's getting bigger and bigger all the time. That's the thing that's good. And although I sit here and say a lot of them are shit, but they are getting more and more people watching women's boxing. So it can only be good.
Eddie must love that triangle between Rachel Ball, Shannon Courtney, and Ebony Bridges, because it's like from Rachel Ball fighting Shannon Courtney, now Ebony Bridges is in the mix. So he's got three of them fighting each other. That's just a roulette. If that carries on going until someone else joins the mix, it's not bad going, is it?
Yeah, and all you got to do is wear a little thong, and then you get more people watching it. Wow, that worked, didn't it?
It did. I'm going to bring it back on for anyone that's joined us. Please hit the like button. Subscribe to Pep Talk UK. We've got Adam Beanie Smith asking, and I know we've answered it previously, but just for Adam, who do the girls have winning Savannah Marshall fights Clarissa Shields this year? Savannah all day for me, according to Adam Beanie Smith. Ladies, take it from the top. Laura, who have you got winning that?
I'd love Savannah to win it. I just like her. I'd love for her to win it. Obviously, you got to back your own, ain't you? So I'll say Savannah.
The ladies unanimously are backing Savannah. I know you mentioned you've sparred Shannon Courtney, Laura. Who else have you sparred?
Well, to be honest with you, a lot of them are either the boys or just other amateurs. I do quite a bit of work with Till, didn't we, Till?
Yeah.
We spar quite a bit because like we're both the same weight, and I think it's good sparring for both of us. Till beats me up a lot. But yeah, no, like out of like the sparred a bit with Ed, but obviously our weights are a little bit changing, aren't they? But yeah, so Shannon Courtney's probably like the most like known that I've sparred, but that's not saying she's the best boxer I've sparred. Do you know what I mean? Like we mix it up a lot with the boys. It's hard to find female sparring, so I think we do quite a bit of work with boys, and yeah, Till is like perfect sparring for me.
Ebony, yourself?
I've sparred Shannon Courtney, Ramla, Chantel Cameron. Like this was like years back, and sometimes, well, me and Tilly now went to another gym, sparred a girl before, but I always seem to cause trouble. Always seems to kick off when I sparred some girls. But it kicked off, didn't it, when we went sparring last time? I think Donna still take me.
We'll never get invited again.
I think sparring though, it does turn into a bit of like a war, doesn't it? And I think that you are helping each other, but when you're sparring people out of different gyms, I think that you are going to sort of try and prove yourself a little bit. And I think it is the closest thing to a fight. People don't realise how much sparring people that don't really understand boxing, I think they think sparring is just a bit of a mess about.
Obviously you do have your technical sparring, don't you? But you got to spar, you're gonna fight.
100%. If it's a hard spar, it's a hard spar. It's the closest thing to a fight. You don't want to smash each other in, but obviously, like you're practicing everything you've learned, haven't you? And you are hitting hard. Sometimes it is hard pulling punches and things like that, and it is the closest thing to a fight.
Yeah.
All right. Will Stokes has come out with a question. What do you think of Sinesa Estrada, if you're familiar with her? WBA champ at minimum weight, got a great style, and is also the owner of the fastest KO in women's boxing history. Now, I don't like that KO personally because I feel it was a good boxer against someone that shouldn't have been anywhere near a ring. Literally, they got up, they ran to the centre ring, it was bang, bang, and it was all over. That the opponent should never have been anywhere near boxer of Estrada's caliber.
Oh, I don't know who that is, you know.
Sorry?
I actually don't know who that is.
Oh, she's a champ. She's a good boxer, silky style, and has a little bit of power in her hands as well. But thank you, Will Stokes. We'll move on to the next one. Kurt Campbell saying Laura versus Shannon.
Different weight classes. It's Ed versus Shannon.
I'm not saying Ed versus Shannon.
If she keeps boxing at bantamweight, maybe super bantam.
Do you know what it is? It's like, obviously, I'll box anybody when there's an opportunity because I think you've got to. Like, and that's what I want to do is I want to box, and I've got the biggest love for boxing in the world. And I would literally box anybody that was in front of me because I think you're learning. Do you know what I mean? You're learning, you're getting the experience. John is the one that picks who we box, and he wouldn't like put us up against somebody that he doesn't think we're okay to, and I think we've all got our biggest trust in him. But I do think that Shannon doesn't like anyone that's quite an aggressive boxer, and she doesn't like anybody putting their foot down on her. Do you know what I mean? I think she likes being on top of her opponents, and as soon as somebody starts being a bit aggressive to her, she shies away from it. She covers up, and she just doesn't know what to do.
You had a young lady training. Well, John Edwards had a lady training with him, who's now a WBC silver champion, I think. Kalia Kurania, Pink Tyson. Did you girls get any sparring in with her?
I've actually never sparred her, you know.
Yeah, I've sparred her.
I've sparred her.
What do you ladies think of her?
She's unique. Again, selling point.
Leaving the Pink Tyson aspect aside, the Sparta Princess, leaving that aside, as a boxer, what's she like? Training wise, in camp?
I think do you know what? I think she dedicates a lot to it.
Yeah, she does. Yeah.
She's come over from Greece, isn't she? And she's left that's a big thing to do. Moving countries, risk everything, know no one. You go there, you don't speak proper English. Obviously, she's learned a lot, but I mean, from when she first come over, like if I move countries to somewhere I've never really been, with people I've never even met in my life, and you've moved your whole life there to chase a dream, then I think you can only wish that person the hugest amount of success as what she can. And she's done that. She's won the silver. I can't remember what it was. Whatever one it was. But I think good luck to her. I think you can only hope the best.
She chose the best person to train her when leaving her country to come over here, because John looks after his fighters, and you got people who don't, and you got to be careful, haven't you? But she definitely chose the best trainer when she come over.
We're going to entertain, because the guy or the lass has been here all the way through this. I'm going to say my IQ is 2. Would you fight the P4P number 1 of women's boxing, Jake Paul? So I put his question out there because this guy's been trolling all night long on the side. So there you go. We asked you a question.
What was that question again?
Would you fight the pound-for-pound number 1 of women's boxing, Jake Paul?
Yeah, he's a joke, isn't he? He's an absolute joke.
But
He's a nut to that
I
boy.
don't get why these YouTubers want to start fighting, Luke. I don't get it.
I think
It's just,
they
It's
see
just
that about
annoying
him and
because
Tommy
like
Fury.
when you're a boxing person and you've trained your whole life and you think of all the hours of training you put into it and you're a real boxing person, you just take it's just you look at these people and you think you're just so deluded, and all these pretend Instagram boxers, like it's annoying.
I think he's just going to get hurt in the sport, to be honest. But they've got to put him up against somebody that actually can box, because the more that he gets put up against people that can't box, he's just going to go around like a king. As soon as he boxes, like say he does box Tommy Fury, if that ever would happen, then he's just going to get his head taken clean off his shoulders, and then that's it.
I look at someone like Tommy Fury as something a bit different. Tommy Fury wanted to be a boxer, but went on a reality TV show. Whereas people that are on reality TV shows are trying to box. Going from being a boxer to a reality TV show, you might get heartbroken, but you're not going to get hurt. Whereas going from a reality show to a boxing ring, you may end up getting hurt bad.
Yeah, he's confident. Give him that. Like, but it's, yeah,
I think Tommy did it the right way around. He's gone there. He's made a massive name for himself. Then he's started boxing. Obviously, he's from a fighting family. Gone on the reality TV show. Got massive backing. He's met Molly. Whether that's obviously just a blessing anyway. If he's found somebody he wants to spend the rest of his life with, then he's going to come back and then smash up the boxing with a massive following behind him, even more than what he would have had anyway. He's going to sell loads of tickets, and he's smashing it as well.
I'm going to try and answer a question for Ryan Mann, and I'm going to try and answer this. He said, would a girl fight headlining do well as a standalone pay-per-view? Now, Ryan, I've been following the career of a lady called Cecilia Breakers. I don't know if you're familiar with her. Cecilia Breakers is originally from Colombia. She was adopted by Norwegian parents, and she wanted to fight in her home country as a pro in Norway, but Norway didn't allow professional boxing. So she flew around Europe, fought in multiple places. Now, I went to see her a few years back. Chris Eubank Jr. fought Reynolds at the Earl's Court. I think 14,000 tickets he sold. I went to see the Cecilia Breakers in Oslo Spectrum, and on a pay-per-view, she had not only sold out the whole of the arena as the main headline standalone event, but also a number of pay-per-views around Europe. I think it's happening through Europe already. I don't see why it can't happen here. Hopefully, it could even be one of these ladies that we're talking to now could be the next pay-per-view star. And if there are, I want royalties.
Yeah, that money would be nice.
Will Stokes has got something for you, Laura. I'll let you read it out yourself.
Yeah, that's it. Payne, brilliant name, isn't it? Good name for the sport.
Laura, tell Will Stokes your nickname.
The Punisher. Unless anyone can put one in there that's any better than that, but I can't really think. I've always struggled to think of the names, and I remember there was a doctor, Ebony. I've forgotten. I can't remember her name, but she was on the GB.
Yeah.
And I think her name was Rebecca, actually, and she was one that fought there. And then since then, that's it. Well, it might have been Sophie. No, Sophie, the physio. That's who it was. Then since then, I've just always had that. But yeah, Payne, and it's spelled P-A-I-N as well. It's not spelled P-A-Y-N-E. So they knew straight away. Payne.
Even that on its own sounds good, doesn't it?
That's it, yeah, it's Laura Payne.
Joe Pugh's come back with another question. Apart from yourselves, who are the best British female prospects at the moment?
So up and coming, got Ellie Scottney. She's like, so obviously, like I said, you've got a lot of the girls who it is sort of like pretend, but they're good at marketing themselves. Whereas I like Ellie Scottney because she's a good fighter. She doesn't talk too much. She lets her boxing do the talking. Yeah, she's a prospect, definitely.
Anyone else that comes to mind?
I think Ellie as well. I think Ellie's with Adam Booth, isn't she? And I think she's really good, to be honest. And you see her now.
I'd
It's
say
mad,
us.
Say that again.
I'd say us.
Louder, louder for the people at the back.
I've said it so many times, haven't I?
Curtis Webb's asked a question, and I'll be honest, Curtis, they're in safe hands at the moment. He said, if you all had to choose a well-known pro coach, who are you choosing, considering location and everything?
I'm happy where I am.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't get me wrong. There is a
Wow,
good coach out there, but I'm happy where I am. You got to be able to trust your coach.
Yeah, and
Curtis,
loyalty comes into it a lot as well.
Curtis, I've known John Edwards for a very, very long time. I've seen boxers start off with him, go on to other coaches, but I'll be honest, I've seen the other side of boxing as well, where people are having difficulties, are stuck, and John Edwards, as far as I've seen, is a proper boxing man. He genuinely gives excuse the French here, Tilly. He genuinely gives a shit about his boxers. Not everyone does. Some people are in it for the money. Some people are in it for the fame. From all my dealings with him, he's an out-and-out boxing man, and I think the ladies will be in very good hands to stay with him on their journeys. And I think he's one of them people that once one of his boxers progresses, he will get all the limelight. Everyone's gonna say, yeah, we always knew he had it in him. It's just a matter of him doing what he does and one of his boxers going all
That's what I mean.
the way.
And these pro coaches, they've only got well known because they've had a fighter that's come to them, and they've got well known. And then obviously all the fighters who are good will flop them. So it doesn't always mean that they are the better coach.
Guys, hit that like button. Subscribe to Pep Talk UK. Who do you ladies think AJ was? I already know the answer to this, Daz Reynolds, but I'm going to let him answer again. Ladies, who do you think? Anthony Joshua or Tyson Fury is going to win that fight?
Fury.
Tyson
Yeah,
Fury.
Fury.
Well, there you go, Daz. They've given you the answer. David, good luck to you sparking at Tommy Fury. I hope he's watching, and I hope you and him have that scuffle. Good luck to you. Make sure you film it on YouTube or film it. Let me see it. I want to see you having your fight with Tommy Fury. We touched upon the female. Who are some of the best amateurs, male and female, right now out there that you've come across from Big T?
Best amateurs male: Pat McCormack, Pete McGrail. Best amateurs female: got Kaz out in store, and Lauren Price, and Demi Jade.
David Simon's got a good question in there. When you ladies study boxing, do you watch old women footage or men's footage? Because it is different, isn't it, for some people? Boxing, for me, if I see a good boxing match, whether it's women in boxing or men in boxing, it's boxing for me. I don't really see a difference, but
that's the way it should be, and that's right. I think that's good that's like that. But I can't blame people that they do separate it, because obviously we have still got a bit to catch up, but it's getting there.
Yeah, it's becoming more and more up and coming, isn't it?
Yeah, but I watch the old men's footage, because there's nothing about old
same as me.
women's footage.
100%.
All right. Before I wrap this up, there's another big fight coming up. Billy Joe Saunders fighting Canelo. I love Billy Joe Saunders. I'm backing the Brit. How do you guys see that going down?
Billy Joe. I think his heart will carry him through it, to be honest. And I think that he's made. Do you know what I mean? He's sort of made for it. I think he's going to do really, really well against Canelo. I think he's going to do better than what people think, and hopefully he's going to come away with a win.
So I rate Canelo. I watch him a lot. He's class, but obviously I think Billy Joe Saunders is class too. And like you said, I'm backing the Brit.
Billy Joe, I think, is misunderstood. I think he's a fantastic boxer. I think he's done so well. He's literally won every single belt. He's a world champion. No one's ever going to take that away from him. And wouldn't it be brilliant if he just sparks at Canelo? I'll be honest. I'll be jumping.
It'd be good, wouldn't it? I would love to be there, actually watching it. But
yeah, imagine watching that fight. That'd be mad because I think they're both going to have that. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be an intense fight. I think really intense, and I think they're both going to be sort of winding each other up a bit as well.
Now, ladies, before we sign off, I have left all your Insta details and how they can follow you in the main blurb underneath this, so people can do it. But if we can all individually reintroduce yourselves and tell people your social media handles that they can follow you, starting with you, Laura. What are your social media full name and social media handles?
Laura Payne, Instagram's @Laura Payne _ Twitter @Laura Payne _ probably something like that. I think they've all got an underscore on them. Then I don't really use Twitter or anything like that. I just use Instagram, to be honest. @Laura Payne _
Tilly, fire away.
So the Instagram is Tills_XX, and then on Facebook it's I think it's Tilly Hymers ×2 champion or something like that. But it's on Facebook. I bet we've got anything else other than Instagram.
Ebony, all yours.
Ebony Jones. Instagram is Ebony Jones _ and that's it really.
Well, I'm not going to shout out my social media handles, but I've got a few people I'd like to thank. Firstly, I'd like to thank Jason, Tilly's dad, for making tonight happen. I'd like to thank John Edwards for always supporting us and for allowing you three to be on here today. And I would like to thank Ivan from Far King Cinema Movies for his messages last night and trying to make this happen. And as always, Proby's, you're a star. I know you're in the background. Thank you very much for keeping this going for as long as you've had. And signing off from Pep UK. Ladies, we wish you the best of luck. We'll all be shouting you on, Laura, when you have that fight. Thank you for joining in tonight. God bless. Have a great evening.
Cheers, Shaz.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.